It's the SKOR North Twins Show.
SKOR North Twins Show, a quick extra innings episode here. Declan Goff, we had a full Twin Show today with Mackie, Judd, and myself, where we broke down the Twins starting rotation. How good is that starting rotation? We got a glimpse of Joe Ryan in his first spring training start. I want to break it down with you guys here on the SKOR North Twins Show. So if you haven't already, hit that like button and the subscribe button as we inch closer to 4,500 subscribers. Thank you. We launched this channel about a year ago. Been very grateful to everyone who has supported it. This is something I'm very excited to do in year 2 as a beat podcaster. So still will be covering the Twins once the season picks up here. I'll be at opening day in St. Louis. Plus, you can expect content from Target Field as well. So if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button and the like button to keep spreading the word about the SKOR North Twin Show. Okay, so for the first time since August last year, I believe it was August 7th, is when Joe Ryan's season came to an end, basically. He had that tricep injury, and he unfortunately was shelved. The Twins had to call up Zebby Matthews. Kind of got maybe some potentially bad news on Zebby Matthews, which we'll get into too later on. But today was Joe Ryan's first appearance since that start in August 7th of 2024. And I'm actually going to flash up some of the numbers from Baseball Savant on here for our YouTube audience, our podcast audience. I will still do my best to explain this, but for the visual side on YouTube, here's what it looked like. So Ryan threw 37 pitches. Velocity you'll see on the top of this from left to right. He threw his fastball, his splitter, his sweeper, his sinker, and topped out at about 94 miles an hour with that fastball, averaged it around 93. You'll see some arrows there on the right side, plus minus. That would mean that his velocity from year to year, so what he was usually throwing and how hard he was throwing those pitches a year ago, was down. Personally, I would not make too much of the velocity being down in his first start in 6+ months, basically. Don't freak out when you see the velocity being lower than what we're normal from Joe. He's throwing, I know he's been doing side throwing and showing the staff and showing coaches that he's obviously capable to be making these starts, and he's an integral part of the Twins' success in 2025. But when you see the velocity that's dipped down there, I wouldn't, to be honest, I wouldn't panic over that by any means. It's his first start in a long time. He also had the spin rate on those pitches that were also down a little bit. Again, I wouldn't want this guy necessarily just going out there and throwing as hard as he can for the first time in a long time. So even though you see the velocity and the spin rates that are down kind of considerably from a season ago, I wouldn't be panicking too much about that. He did throw 37 total pitches, racked up some strikeouts, which was impressive. He struck out the side in the first. He just had 2 innings of work, and then generated 5 swings and misses on those 35 pitches, which is honestly very solid. So, I think it's a good first step into Joe Ryan. If that velocity and that spin rate continues to be down as we get closer to opening day, or as his first start of the season, which I would imagine would be game 2 against the Cardinals, if all things are going well with his trajectory and his health, then yeah, let's see where he's at. But Joe made a pretty big jump last season just in terms of his velocity from 2023. That was something that was very impressive by him. All of a sudden, he went from a guy who was, still throwing, relatively hard, but relatively, I would actually say kind of average, to then throwing very, very hard. So we'll see what happens with him going forward. But I just wanted to jump on here, give you guys a little glimpse of what to expect from Joe Ryan after making his first start in a long time. He did throw that splitter a lot last season. Same with the sweeper, but he still remains a very fastball forward pitcher. Run value wise, it was a +14 on Baseball Savant, which is a pretty damn good number. And opponents hit just 191 against his fastball in this day and age, where sweepers and breaking balls are becoming more the norm, and spin rates, as we just looked at, are also becoming very important. Joe has that very deceptive fastball, and it's hard to hit. Opponents have a hard time squaring up on those pitches, and it was good to see Joe at least get back out there and show that he's hopefully still going to be healthy and in a very good spot to help out this Twins starting rotation. We did a little overview today on a full SKOR North Twins Show, just basically talking about how deep this rotation is. And there's plenty of options in the minor leagues with the St. Paul Saints, too, that I'm kind of excited to watch develop and unfold and whatnot. So I think depth-wise, it's actually from the big league level and from just the organizational level, it's actually in one of the best spots it's been in a very long time. So Joe Ryan makes his first start. We'll see what happens in his next start. We'll see if that velocity and maybe just his quotes too of how he felt after that first start will probably come out here by this evening too. So good first step for Joe Ryan. I mentioned Zebby Matthews off the top. Kind of a weird situation. So he left today's game. He fielded a ground ball up the third base line. I believe it was off of Paul Goldschmidt. And he stepped kind of wrong. He was able to still throw out Goldschmidt, I believe, but the way he stepped, his ankle kind of got twisted up a little bit, and then he was kind of hobbled by the time he went back to the mound. The Twins pulled him from the game. Hopefully, it's obviously nothing serious. He's having a great spring. Speaking of velocity shooting up, Zebby's velocity was up pretty considerably from what we saw with him as a Twin last year when he came up from high A's. So hopefully that's not a huge deal. We'll see what the medicals say about Zebby Matthews, but he's going to be someone that's going to be in line for that St. Paul Saints rotation. As from ASMR, taking a swig there, but hopefully he's in a good spot and helping out the St. Paul Saints. We'll get word of what happens with Zebby from the medical staff and from Rocco. Offensively, a good day at the plate. Matt Wallner took Garrett Cole deep for a 3-run blast. Leadoff Matt Wallner still seems like it's tracking to be a thing in 2025. He led off again today. I will say it was just his second hit from the leadoff spot, so I don't overreact necessarily to spring training results and statistics quite yet. But they're still giving him plenty of run. He parked the ball, and it was off of Garrett Cole too. That he didn't hit this off some random guy. He hit it off one of the best starting pitchers in baseball. Twins beat up Garrett Cole today. 2.2 innings for Cole, 5 hits, 6 runs, all earned. Did have a couple strikeouts, but Matt Wallner, the leadoff Matt Wallner train, the hype train is still growing there. He had a big homer. Brooks Lee also, he played some short today. No playing time for Carlos Correa, but Brooks Lee stepped in at short. He almost took Garrett Cole deep in his first AB. He one-hopped one off the wall. In his next at-bat, he did not miss. He smacks a home run, which was impressive. So a very nice day at the plate for the Twins offense, who collect 8 runs and 13 hits off the Yankees. I was watching the broadcast on Twins TV, or actually, I think it was on the Yes Network. It was on the Yes Network. And of course, they had to show the Yankees and Twins rivalry, and by rivalry, I mean dominance in the regular season. So as Twins fans, you'll take a spring training beatdown of the Yankees anytime you can get it. But Ryan Jeffers had a nice day, 2 for 3. Trevor Larnach, who's having a very, how much do you take stake in results at spring training? Trevor Larnach also had a very nice day, another multi-hit game for him. And maybe, is Mickey Gasper becoming a thing? I don't know. He bounced around between the Yankees and the Red Sox. He's hitting .412 in spring. He can play some catcher, but most likely is more of a infielder. Can play a lot of positions. Is he playing himself into the fold? I don't know. But Mickey Gasper played first base, started at first today, went 3 for 4, scored a couple runs, had a couple knocked in. Great mustache, too, by the way. He's 29 years old. He's a switch hitter, which obviously helps. Hits well from both sides of the plate in the minors, which, again, how much stake do we put in that? I'm not quite sure yet. But, hell, maybe Mickey Gasper, who was, kind of brought in here as just organizational depth and is technically on the 40-man roster for the Twins. I'm not sure where he stands now, but we'll see. Maybe he plays his place into a role. Brooks Lee had a good day today. Edward Julian, results-wise, might not be hitting the ball well, but is he making the proper adjustments that Rocco and the new hitting coach, Matt Borg-Schulte, want to see from him in terms of adjustments at the plate? This organization believes still in Edward Julian. It's just because he had a bad 2024. It's not like you write him off and you signing someone like a Mickey Gasper, bring someone in as a quad A player, and all of a sudden his job's in jeopardy. But hell, it's something to watch. I mean, look, he's making the most of his opportunities. Gasper is, and I think the switch hitting and the versatility with the glove, it helps. It certainly helps. So we'll see how much that kind of develops as spring training also unfolds. One more thing here on the SKOR North Twins Show I want to talk about. I saw this from our friends at Bring Me the News. So if you're a Twins fan going to Target Field this year, there will be some upgrades. By the way, hit the like button and the subscribe button here on the SKOR North Twins Show Extra Innings feed. They'll be the Twins are going to be updating some infrastructure. They're implementing what's called MLB's go-ahead entry, which is kind of a new way of entering the stadium with facial like recognition and scanning. They're also going to update the like fiber and the cellular network around Target Field, but that's going to be happening like throughout the season. I don't know if you'll necessarily see a big change through it. And then also some grab and go things. So on the MLB go-ahead entry, this allows fans for a quicker entrance into the field. And it's a system new to some ballparks already that uses the facial recognition system without actually scanning a ticket. Apparently, you fans who wish to use it can register for the program on the MLB Ballpark app, which is where your tickets are usually saved at. And it's going to be for ticket holders at gates 3, 6, 29, and 34. So if there's ever long lines at like some of your normal gates and you're sick of it, and you want facial recognition for maybe a faster process, might be something worth checking out. They'll also have a new point of sale system at Target Field, which is My Venue. Some other top venues have this, and it's just I think a way of purchasing and make purchasing quicker. It's at the Sphere in Vegas, so it should make stuff a little bit easier. And then on the most heavily trafficked concession sides at Target Field, which are stands 105 and 109 on like that main concourse area, there'll be a new layout which will feature those grab and go type of snacks and beverages to also make those stuff, make that process, buying food, getting a beer, buying a pop, buying some water, make it potentially a little bit easier for Twins fans. So we'll see how smoothly that goes. But Target Field, I always appreciate that at least it's a great place to see a game. They're constantly kind of upgrading things here and there to make the fan experience a lot better. So some other news and notes there from Target Field as we get closer. We're just 3 weeks away. We're 3 weeks away from opening day against the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm excited for that. That should be a blast. You know, is leadoff Matt Wallner going to be a thing? Is Mickey Gasper going to make a surprise addition to the opening day roster? Plenty of great stuff to discuss here on this one and on future episodes of the SKOR North Twins Show. So appreciate you guys. Just wanted to hop on for a quick one. Go check out our full episode from Thursday as well on the starting rotation, just the state of it. Another random Twin of the Week I was able to throw out there too. So appreciate you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe button. This is the SKOR North Twins Show.